Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's edition of the Cloister of the Dice. Hun, you're on the wrong screen. uh, oh, this is a fun day. There we go. No, it's still. I think you need to change the window on your screen capture. It's set to the wrong window. It's showing your character sheet right now. There we go. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cloister of the Dice. Of course, I'm your MC behind the scenes. I'm John. We're back here for more Robotech. Of course, we've got our DM Mildred the Monk and our players, Kay, Nefador, Froll, and Xantrix and RA. How we doing, everybody?
Don't get me fucking started.
We're doing good. We're doing good. I did realize that this is unfortunately going to be the one time this month that we are doing this campaign. But that was that was due to a series of events. Whether or not they are unfortunate, I will leave up to you.
I'd say being sick is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. I just didn't want to reference the book.
Ah.
Too easy. But between Zan's move and K being down, there was a whole lot of improvisation that had to happen. On the plus side, I was able to channel the negative energy with that god awful Crow remake into the positive energy of having people watch the only Crow movie that matters.
No, there is only one Crow movie though.
Exactly. Much like how Tsukihime never got an anime.
What anime?
Exactly. But and of course, the reason why I say this is going to be the only one this month is, well, next week is the last week of September. So you know how this goes.
Indeed.
And the funny thing is, earlier this month, we celebrated the 1-year anniversary of the Cloister. That was on September 2nd. So we have been doing this actual play series for 1 calendar year, which I wasn't going to do a celebration roundtable like I did back in August. In fact, that's the reason I didn't do it. Was because it didn't seem appropriate to do that when I already did a milestone celebration just a couple weeks before that.
Fair enough.
You know, on the 27th. Which a 10-year anniversary is going to be a much bigger deal than a 1-year.
Yes.
As Japan knows very well, because you'll always see some big thing happen on a given work's anniversary that's a multiple of 5. Every single time. Without fail. It's always the 5s.
Yes.
It may be because 5 is a magical number, but it's something that you're just gonna, once you see the pattern, you're never gonna unsee it. But with that in mind, I do think it is vital to do a little bit of catch up compared when it came to last time. So last time around, you guys were dealing with the middle of a protracted battle in Africa and going into a wrecked ship to retrieve a very important commander.
Which we did so in a Plowman style.
Yeah, having to go in the somewhat sneaky route because you're dropping into an active war zone. And while it was a success, there were also certain awkward bits, like say the diva learning that that there are certain things he should not put his hands on if he does not want to be put in a camel clutch again.
Stretching practice.
There's also there is also the fact that you requisitioned some old UEDF equipment from a museum you guys found in Africa, and got a bunch of new recruits to Hannibal team that you guys are going to be overseeing. There's also the fact that you guys learned very quickly. Do not fuck with Captain Prana.
Yep, or she will fold you like clothing.
While you're
Yes.
still in it.
Yes, remember judo is the art of folding clothing with people still in it. Uh, Now whether or not they're screaming in pain from being folded, that's skill issue.
More stretching practice.
Yes.
Force yoga.
And hang on. Um, one small thing needs to be. Okay, good. Okay,
What's up?
is it which channels is it streaming to?
It just says it's on Twitch and YouTube.
Um, Switch to YouTube off and put Twitter on.
All right. There we go.
So you have to stop the stream to do that.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No.
There it goes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure of that. So
Damn, down for 2 weeks, and I feel like a noob all over again.
well,
Happens to the best of us.
yeah. But with that said, after going through all of that, and getting some new equipment and some new recruits, you guys ended up getting back onto the Spirit of Carthage and heading to your next assignment.
Indeed.
That is that assignment is all the way in Australia, and in the which anybody who's a mech fan should be very familiar with the memes about Australia. I understand why that country gets targeted for certain disasters in various shows, but I still can't help but laugh.
I take off my mask and put on some sunglasses. I came here to laugh at you.
But with that said, I will note one particular thing that happens in the interim that I did want to nail down. Chia's particular bit of research has borne a small bit of progress
Okay.
with something simply referred to as the box.
Okay.
But when you try to open it, it simply states that it is encrypted, and it's not an encryption that you can break. The But you do recall when you found that Valkyrie that there was a an SD card hidden in the cockpit.
Okay.
And for shits and giggles on this, I want you to roll machinations with hindrance.
Okay. Give me a moment. Hmm. 2 successes because. Wait, no, hold on. One of those is a 6. At hindrance, I should have a success.
Yeah, that's odd. Let me
I don't know
see.
why it isn't showing. And in fact, a 6 counts as 2 successes still, even in hindrance. I should have 2 successes there. Because I don't know what you guys see, but I see 6, 5, and 3.
Yeah, I see it too.
For
Yeah, I see it too.
For whatever reason, the roll 20 acts like you rolled 3, 2, and 4.
I see 2, 2, and 4 on mine.
I see 6, 3, and 5. I see 6, 3, and 5.
Hold on. I've got 6, 3, and 5.
You know
Yeah,
what? I'm going to go with 2
roll 20.
successes, Monk.
Yeah, because the dice that rolled on screen and the die that rolled in the logs don't seem to match. And that's not a fuck up on my end. That's a roll 20 fuck up.
It absolutely is, because I'm seeing the same thing.
The only one seeing anything different is Neff.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
you
gonna
know what?
reload.
Yep, bitch before reload before bitching. But yep, okay, so 2 successes, Monk.
All that it says on the screen is two things. Uh, one of them is SSCG.
Okay.
The final thing that it ends up saying is key is when you put in that SD card into your computer. Code 1 accepted. Please insert codes 2, 3, and 4.
Shia grimaces because Shia knows what this is. Shia has a pretty good understanding of what happened and why.
Mm-hmm.
And all he does at that point, or all I do at that point, is pull the first SD card out and close this this terminal. And with the SD card, I hide it on my person. As for the terminal, nobody else is going to understand what it is. I could leave it out in my quarters and nobody would get it. But he's going to put it in a drawer in his quarters.
Mm-hmm. But as the days continue, the diva is behaving, but still finds ways to get himself into some degree of trouble. But at the very least, he's not getting stretched anymore.
David is doing his best to try to keep the diva on a short leash, but it doesn't always work out that way.
On more than one occasion, that there's been the case of him getting taped up to a wall near the engineering room, and I mean taped up, as in stuck there with way too much duct tape.
I just look at it and just go, what am I going to do with you?
Is there such a thing as too much duct tape?
No.
There is.
It's as the saying goes, silence is golden, but duct tape is silver.
But they have colored duct tape now.
But most people on the matter are just going about it and Think, oh, the diva's up there? I just leave him there. An extreme version of timeout, if you catch my drift.
No, I get it. I get it.
Of course, this also means that because some of the duct tape was on the mouth, you know what has to be done there.
Yep. As soon as I have to finally go take them down, I'm just like, hold on, this is gonna hurt.
You ever hear everybody in the room hears him scream, turns around, sees the demon blade, and just goes right back to work.
Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing important. No one's caught in fire.
Mm-mm. But after after a few days, you all end up being called into the briefing room because as you're getting close to Australia, you guys now are within range to get the details on your orders.
Right.
And in the briefing room is, of course, Captain Prana and Agent Vici.
As usual, Shia salutes both the captain and the agent, and old team reporting.
Where's that follow suit?
Okay, here does the same.
As do I.
Glad to see you're all functional. Sit down and we can begin.
Of course, everybody takes their seats.
Mm-hmm.
With the diva staying behind in Dave's quarters because we made it in. We told him it's important that he doesn't come in.
Yeah.
Well, I've also made sure to make sure the door is locked so that he cannot escape.
Hannibal team, the next operation will be slightly different from the last couple engagements. Thankfully, since the destruction of what we assumed was the main enemy flagship near Monument City, the Master's command structure seems divided and is currently in disarray. That'll give you a better fighting chance for your next objective, which is one of our most important installations, Red 15. You see on the screen a dot noted in the western part of Australia. This installation has come under attack. They've managed to hold out against a concerted siege, but the enemy forces withdrew and the base went dark. Understand that this installation is vital to our cause. Your mission will be the extraction and retrieval of the scientists and their research data. Whether or not you're able to do so, any remaining data is to be destroyed and the base along with it. Insertion will be via an old cattle station several miles away, and you see Vici pointing that out, and you'll proceed to the target from here. After obtaining the head scientist, the spirit of Carthage will meet you in Adelaide on the far south coast of Australia. Any
What
questions?
Yeah. Of course, Shia speaks up. What options are there for destruction of data? Is there on-site destruction, or do we need to bring our own method?
You'll be supplied with demo charges, and it'll be much similar to the destruction operation in Neo Tokyo.
All right. Are there any fail safes on site at Red 15? Such as any sort of automated defense we might be able to kick on as a way of distraction as we extract? Anything of that nature?
If the base has gone dark, it's likely that the power has been completely cut.
Okay.
which is why you're being supplied with demo charges to deal with the cleanup.
Understood.
And in particular, any while the details are need to know, any details regarding Operation Stormbreaker should be a priority for recovery.
Affirmative. We'll keep out for anything referencing Stormbreaker.
But unfortunately, due to resource shortages, the material that can be requisitioned is limited. No, we cannot afford any flying mecha for this mission, so only ground Veritex, MPVs, Batloids, and personal equipment. Which Vici looks at David and somebody says, so this kind of operation will be well within your wheelhouse.
Oh yes. This should be a little
I
fun.
raise my hand and say, does that include mine, considering it can't transform?
Yes.
At this point, Shia speaks again. What about the excess Veritex we picked up from the museum pieces from the UEDF? Or UDEF.
Mhm.
UEDF. Are any of those going to be available, or are they still under repairs?
The Valkyrie that you guys recovered, the Valkyries that you guys found are in relative fighting shape, but I would not advise testing your luck in heavy engagement. Light engagements, they could probably hold their own to a point, but if you feel like there's more enemy than you, don't risk it.
Understood.
Are there any further questions?
Shia looks at the rest of Team Hannibal, indicating if any of them have anything they want to ask, they should do so now.
No, seems simple enough to me. Get in, get the data and scientists, blow it up, whatever's left, whatever we can't get, and get out.
I nod in agreement. It's like, yeah, sounds simple enough.
Mm-hmm.
Hannibal team has no further questions, Agent.
With that in mind, this briefing is adjourned. I'd advise you this will be designated as Operation Red Typhoon. And I would advise you to return to your quarters, get your equipment ready, and be prepared to roll out in the hangar.
Understood.
Aye, aye, Captain.
So as you guys head to your respective quarters, is there any special equipment that you guys are going to try and requisition for this?
Well, we're all getting additional demo charges, right?
Yeah.
No. Just so that we all have the ability to destroy what's necessary.
Yeah. For the purposes of the character sheets, you don't need to put the demo charges on that.
Yeah. Um. Let me think here. Let me look at the equipment real quick.
Mhm. Obviously, all this applies to the. This can apply to kit. This can apply to kits, personal gear, and the restrictions mentioned previously,
Mhm.
or any changes in equipment suites.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. So if we go down in any of the Veritex, they're stuck in Batloid mode, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I
Are basically Veritech tanks.
I
yeah.
believe a unicorn counts as that.
The reason I'm asking is because it's essentially like the Logan would be stuck in Guardian mode, essentially, if I were taking it, or the Alpha Fighter if I'm taking that. I don't see a real reason to change anything she has. I just think that in this case, since we'd need a little more firepower and we'd be stuck in Battloid mode, he would go in the Alpha Fighter rather than in the Logan.
All right. So that'd be the I believe the Alpha was the one that you had found in that museum.
Yeah, the YF6
Mhm.
H.
Yeah, I could certainly see that.
Or the
So,
Monk,
VFA
I
6
am
H,
going
excuse me.
to DM you my request.
all right.
So give me just 2 seconds. Because I gotta do this shit on my phone, because if I try to move to a different window on Discord on the computer, it's gonna fuck everything up.
Mm-hmm. And
Alright, sent.
okay.
Oh wait, I've already got one. Never mind. Dirt to dirt.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Hurt to dirt. For some reason, I thought I had a scout kit.
Mhm.
Any chance that she could add a couple extra little doodads to her kit to help bolster her chances of getting more information?
Um, I would say that kind of thing falls under the proper gear equipment suite.
Okay.
So
Take a look at that. Proper gear, proper gear. I have light class, general, light arms.
if you look under equipment suite, you'll see in the equipment document, you'll see a thing called the proper gear, which is a catch-all for this kind of thing. That is
Oh,
for
there
the
it is.
purposes of the character sheet, that is going to count as a temporary talent.
Okay.
Um, one that has is going to have three uses. You're basically
Okay.
requisitioning um a a suite of equipment for encryption.
Mm.
Um, the key thing is because of the way security ends up working, you're only going to get so many shots at it before
Yeah.
there's a lockdown. So you got 3 uses of it.
Okay.
The skill rating for it is going to be 3.
Okay. All right. So,
Uh,
and we said we're putting that under talents, right?
yeah, since that's the only place that has the usage tracker on the sheet.
Got it.
So with that in mind, I think the next question is as you head out to the hangar, um, which max are you guys going to be going in?
I'll be in my self-ed, so
I'll take my unicorn.
Like I said, I'm taking the Alpha Fighter.
Mhm. Which does get a few side eyes going. Wait, you're going in that relic?
Sheena looks back at the people giving him side eyes. This relic can take down anything you can fly. The Alpha Fighter is it may be second generation, but it's a beefy boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the reason that they're looking at it as relics is obviously because the ASC has made their own advances when it comes to post generation Veritech fighters.
Yeah,
But I liken it to someone bringing a older car to a street race. Like everybody's in modern cars, and then somebody comes in with an old Detroit muscle car.
yep. Well, I'm bringing it in. I'm bringing it in for a good reason too.
Mm-hmm.
Better armor, better structure. There's a lot of reasons.
Yeah, but eventually the hangar door opens, and you end up arriving at what's noted on your maps as Castle Station Magoga,
Okay.
which it creaks in the wind with the shrill grind of rusted metal joints long neglected. Magoga's sheet metal structures barely hold together under the approaching gale created by the landing of the spirit of Carthage. As you head out of the ship, you see large, expansive flats of desert stretching out in all directions. The only signs of civilization in any direction are fences or small shacks. The old brown and red buildings covered in rust and grime match the landscape that spreads out among them. Dust, sand, and dead grass give no sign of life or living vegetation, much less the cattle the station is named for. Once you're offloaded, the spirit returns to the sky, leaving you amid the ruined buildings. Leading away from it is an old dirt road, no more than a makeshift trail. And standing at the center of the road is a brindle coated dog, having short and shaggy fur, welcoming newcomers before letting out a bark and heading to the shelter of the station.
Dog.
As you as you follow it, you do find that there is still life within Cattle Station Magoga, but this place has much clearly seen better days.
So there are people here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Shia indicates to the rest of Hannibal team that he's going to temporarily dismount, try and get some intel from these people, see if there's been any movements of late that they should be worried about.
Mm-hmm. As you head towards the station, you see what looks like a small 6-room house, a warehouse, a outhouse connected to a dugout latrine, and a barn. This is a jumped up farm more than a proper base.
Yeah.
Um, as you explore the settlement, you do see two slouched guys wearing what looks like ASC and UEDF uniforms respectively coming out. The uniforms have been heavily modified for the climate. Um, the shirts and armor torn and kind of exposed. The armor is missing plates. The pants are cut down to shorts. Um, they introduced themselves as Mitch McKenna and Gord Chichilla. They were originally just an observation post to keep an eye for Zentradi, but since the Masters shown up, they've basically been out here to fend for themselves. One of them saying, "Welcome to Cattle Station Magoga, the loveliest place in Australia. Few ground rules for you all. Don't wander too far from the well, and don't pick a fight with any wildlife. Always check your beds and sleeping rolls for snakes and spiders, and if you see a large body of water, assume it's got crocs and don't fucking touch it. Otherwise, welcome to paradise."
Looking at the two of them, she simply goes, "Well, I don't think we'll be staying here very long, but I do want to know, what's the action been like? What have the Robotech Masters and then Zentradi been doing in this area recently? Anything we need to worry about?"
Ever since the Masters showed up, there haven't been much Zentradi showing up. Period. I heard a good chunk of them ran off to South America, but I don't know. This base was set up to deal with like small time skirmishes of Zentradi or pirate activity.
Okay. Have you noticed any weird movements among what the Masters have been doing lately?
Whenever we heard supplies to some of the other bases, we have to do it at night, so that they don't get shot at.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since that Red 15 base went dark, we haven't gotten any requests. Period. It's like we're just out here in the middle of nowhere.
And nothing's come for you or approached you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That about matches the type of intel we have. Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course, Chia returns to the rest of Hannibal team and conveys what little information there was available there.
The map data that you do have indicates that the location of Red's 15 and where you guys are would be a trek of about 6 hours.
All right. Is it early in the day, late in the day?
It's early in the day. But it does mean that you guys are going to have to manage heat. Because you're in the you're in the middle of the damn desert in Australia.
Yeah. In that case, she indicates to actually no. Okay, here. I want you to see if you can find any information outside of what we've already got. I know you've got eyes and ears.
I can do that.
Sarge, over to Dave. We're gonna need, at the
Sir.
very least, water. So we should be looking for some of that. Finley, looking over at Dirge. See if there's anything you can do for heat management with our Veritex. We're gonna need it.
Already on it. And you can see him fiddling with the air conditioning if he can.
Mhm. So
All right. Kahir is gonna get directions to the comms tent.
the comms tent,
Or wherever communications is.
you do have you do have some. You still have communication with the spirit of Carthage, but it's advised to keep communication to a minimum because signals can be picked up, and if they can be picked up, it means that you could have company if you end up spending too much time yapping.
Is there any way I can use heavy encryption then contacts everywhere?
That would the problem is you'd still be sending out some kind of beacon.
Yeah, it's not so much that there's a signal that they're reading, it's just the fact that there's a signal at all.
Fair enough.
You probably still use contacts everywhere, even without.
All right, you know what? Let me do that. But I'm going to see if I have a contact here at this particular base.
All right, roll it.
All right, so take that down to 2. And am I rolling normal?
Yeah.
Oop.
Wow.
Okay, here. There we go. Yeah, no successes.
Well, you found that you did have a contact on this base.
Past tense.
Past tense, meaning they've either, excuse me, they've either left or they're.
It's the latter.
Damn.
Died of heat exhaustion.
Oof.
Ugh.
Exact reason why I said you need to get water and heat management.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you may give it a shot because I also have contacts everywhere.
As do I.
Yeah.
We all have contacts.
All right. He's got a sword. We've all got swords.
You're all
So-
danger
Yeah, I
So-
can use that to find out if there's a good water source somewhere. So I'm gonna roll for me.
Wow!
Holy crap!
Dude, boxcars!
Yep.
Not the best side to get it, but I'll take it.
I mean, I
So-
think it's the best time to get it, considering that if we go 6 hours in the desert without water, we're all gonna die.
Yep. So you were able to find a map that has the actual oases and bodies of water. Several of them have big X's put on them in red ink. Which, when you ask what the X's is for, is the answer is Crocs.
That's a crock of
Okay,
shit.
so avoid those places. Gotcha.
And
I
the
mean,
other
we've got
reason,
Mecha. Do crocodiles really stand a mecha?
no, but you can't collect. You got to be boots on ground when collecting water.
Not true. Every one of our mecha has indexing hands, Monk.
Yep.
I'll collect that water with indexing hands and buckets if I have to.
And crocodiles in the buckets.
But the other reason that this map is important is, you know how it is with oases in the desert. Is that
Yep.
one real, or is your mind playing tricks on you?
Yep.
But fortunately, there is one that's within relative distance that shouldn't take too long to get supplies. You're not going to be able to get a whole shit ton worth, and carrying it around in a big ass bucket would be a little inefficient.
Sure,
But
we have like canisters.
yeah, there's enough that you could get 6 hours worth of water. Now, then there's Dirge's role. So it sounded like you were going to try and work on the mechs to at least mitigate the heat problem.
Yeah, I figure that fits with an I can fix it role.
Mhm. All right. Since this is an I can fix it, and since this is dealing with mech engineering, which is one of your character's specialities, um, roll not with full advantage, but with edge.
Holy shit!
I got 5 and I can fix it.
Yeah,
And
I
that
would
was
say you
bad.
again. What there's something really weird with the difference between the 3D dice and what roll 20 says.
Yeah, because I'm seeing two.
I see
Yeah,
a-
I see 5 successes.
I'm
I see a
seeing
one-
I see 3 1s, a 2, and a 6.
I
I
see
see a
1, 3,
one.
5, 6, 6.
Yeah.
So you have 5 successes.
Mm-hmm. So
All right. You
what
know what,
you
guys? Hold up. I'm going to refresh because I think it might be something on my end.
Yeah, but it's showing different for
Yeah, I'm doing
everybody.
the same.
I'm chalking it up to a roll 20 problem. So until this is addressed, we are going by the 3D. We are going by what it says on the 3D dice, or at least what I see on it. So as far as this is concerned, Dirge got 5 successes. What you it's not exactly the prettiest approach, but you were able to mess around with the event programming so that more power is put towards the internal cooling of the mechs, as well as as well as external. Uh, fortunately, some of the excess water is going to help on that matter, so you guys don't feel like a sauna going through that long trek.
Looking around at everybody as they return, Chia nods his head a bit. He's like, "Good, good. We're gonna get through all of this after all."
But as you head out amidst the deserts of the outback, consumed by immense dunes and assaulted by hot winds, you can see the base's reflective white concrete walls. There's a half spire of burnished metals and white steel rising high into the sky. From a distance, there's no signs of activity in or around the base. The outer walls look to be smoking or somewhat crumbled from enemy fire, and the wrecks of various mecha litter the landscape, slowly being consumed by the ever-moving sands. Behind the walls, a radio spire ascends into the sky, slowly swaying in the winds. You can definitely see that there's signs of engagement and the aftermath of battles from at least a week. Unfortunately, the mecha that you find are completely unsalvageable, but seem to be a mix of general ASC units, TC, and TAF units. So you've got the general Southern Cross Army, you've got the Tactical Corps, and you've got the Tactical Air Force, along with a lot of bioroids. The front gate, well, you don't have to worry about how to get into the front gate because there is no gate.
There is no spin.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Shia, despite being the commander of the group right now, is at the head of it with a gun pod ready, obviously. Over comms or shortwave comms between the mechs. Keep your heads on a swivel. Even if this looks like it's been over for a week or longer, you never know what remains hiding in the piles in the shadows.
There's always a couple stragglers floating around. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I want to go ahead and do a scanning sweep. I want to make sure we don't get caught off guard.
All right, roll it.
Yeah, nothing. And yeah,
there's-
refreshing fixed the dice issue because my dice rolled correctly.
You attempting to do a radio burst to see if anything gets pinged. You're not getting a whole lot. It's likely due to both the wind and what's left of the damaged equipment causing way too much interference. So
Yeah, no luck here. Keep your eyes peeled.
Let's see. Is there any way I can use Fade to Black to see if anybody's hiding anywhere?
not really, since
Damn.
again, there's too much interference. So when it comes to any sort of long range detection, you guys are kind of going in blind
Yep.
into what is by all accounts a haunted base.
Oof. No jump
Yep.
scares.
But as you all approach the walls, you see that they've seen more recent heavy fighting, and there's several makeshift defensive positions that have been erected. Damage to the walls has made gaps, allowing entry into the fortification. And the interior compound contains several buildings along a large pit. But when it comes to the defensive positions, there's no people there whatsoever.
I really don't like this.
Neither do I. Eyes are sharp, guys.
Move and cover. If you can, keep things between you and any open lines of sight.
Roger that.
You do see an area that was probably an armory at one point, but it's been completely blown to bits.
Yeah, that would happen if someone accidentally hit it with a stray round.
Mhm.
Everything else would have gone off.
As you approach the center of the base, you see a central spire that is the radio tower descending into a blast pit, which extends about 30 meters down and is the only entrance to the main base.
Is the radio tower intact or broken?
The tower is intact, but the wind is causing problems.
Okay, and I'm guessing it's not powered, just like how the whole place has gone dark.
Yeah.
Shia makes a note of the radio tower and the shortwave comms to everybody else. We may be able to use that radio to at least let the Carthage know when we're escaping, but we may not want to use it.
Yeah.
But there's only that blast hole's the only entrance in.
You do find what seems like the hinge of a hatch hidden under the sand. If you want to try and get it open, that's gonna take a roll.
Okay.
Or you can blast it open, but that's gonna be a higher difficulty.
So anyway, I
Yeah.
just started blasting. No.
Shia turns to Dirge. Finley, anything you can do about this hatch?
Yeah, let me see what I can do. I can fix it. Let's try that.
All right. You're gonna need at least 2 hits.
Just normal.
Yep.
I see 2 hits.
Oh, just got it.
Woo.
Yep, same here.
You do manage to open the hatch. It seems to be an emergency hatch that was hidden under a lot of sand. It connects to a large tunnel that's about 10 meters wide that extends outwards and levels out. If you went down the path, this leads to the water reclamation system of the base.
I'm guessing there's a sign that says that or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going further, it leads to you find an underground train yard.
Hmm. What directions do the tracks head in?
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell from here, and some of them are probably dead ends because of all the fighting.
Okay. Is there any indication of like a terminal around? A actual train terminal?
Not from here.
Okay. Once again, Shia kind of marks that in his head and goes, depending on where these go, we may be able to get to Adelaide easier.
But within the as you further explore the base, you do find what looks to be a relatively intact garage. Relatively, because it's clearly suffered a few hits and the roof's been caved in, but on the plus side, you can get inside through the roof.
Means you can also get outside through the roof.
Mhm. But within it, dust has already started piling up. The vehicles that are there are starting to degrade due to the high UV sunlight. But the workshop and the garage have been undisturbed long enough for the dust in the desert to start piling up. But once again, no bodies, no. But it's people clearly were here, but it's been abandoned. You see tools and equipment dropped and left as they were, with the few mecha in the garage looking like they were being serviced. Within the back office, you find a open logbook.
All right. What does it say?
Oh. 22/7/2029. The doc's experiments continue. Those eggheads in the labs keep working and working while there's a damn war on. We should be out fighting those aliens instead of sitting here in this godforsaken desert babysitting a bunch of science geeks. 13/12/2029. We're getting supplies for digging. Problem is, they won't send us the batloids we need to protect this place, and even more troubling is that we are now heavily understaffed with no proper equipment. If what I hear about the war heating up is real, and it comes here, we're not going to have the weapons stay functional. The desert plays havoc with all our gear. Just keeping it running is a pain in the ass. 31/4/2030. Damn bastards got us surrounded, attacking all night, keeping us awake. When we're not on the walls, the eggheads are having us move materials deeper underground towards the main depot. We can't hold them off if they just keep coming every night. Every night in the dark. Troops just go missing now. What does the enemy even want? On the plus side, there's a few things that you do find that you can't use here, but might be useful later. There is a basilisk that's taken heavy damage but could be made functional. There's two Minotaur power armors just sitting there with no power. If you can find replacement batteries for them, then you could power them up. A Janissary APC and a Highlander tank are sitting there mid in the middle of maintenance. They just don't. They're intact. They just don't have any fuel. And two drums of fuel, including batteries for the power armor. So you've got more stuff that you can salvage when you guys eventually call for evac.
Shia at least indicates that the fuel should be turned in now and should be fueling those particular vehicles now, the Janissary and the Highlander, just so that they're ready to start in a moment's notice. The batteries can be taken over to the Minotaurs and also loaded in. That way, everything's ready in the event we have to come back here quick and in a hurry.
Yeah. Now, as far as repairing the basilisk, that can be done. But if somebody's going to do it, you need 5 hits.
And well, on top of that, how much time would we lose?
Yeah, which is fair. I think it sounds like you guys are going to be focusing on getting the Janissary, the Highlander, and those Minotaurs ready to go if need be.
Yeah, getting those ready to go is fairly simple. We just put the fuel in the Janissary and the Highlander, we put the batteries in the Minotaurs, and then they're ready to go if we have to come right back to this garage fast as possible, and with anybody else who can use them, or even if we have to use them. The Basilisk, if we take the time to repair that's too much time where we're vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
So, Shia just, along with the rest of Team Hannibal, he indicates that they should at least fuel up the Janissary and the Highlander, and that they should put the batteries in the Minotaurs and then move on.
Yeah. I should note, since the Minotaurs are already loaded with what they need, that being breaching charges and AP lasers.
Okay. As a side note, Shia does turn to Finley, to Dirge, and goes, Finley, I know you like to tinker, but time is of the essence. Let's leave the Basilisk as stone.
He groans and is like, okay, fine.
I knew you were thinking about it.
Question: is there anything in the room? Or no, the computer's probably going to be deep underground. By the sound of things.
Yeah, most of the terminals are going to be deeper and more secure areas.
Mm-hmm. But as you further explore, you do find the interior of the base proper. The first floor, would have the standard stuff you would see in a base like this. Um, living quarters, which seems to have been ransacked with a lot of stuff scattered. And it further goes into the fact that this base has been out of power and abandoned for at least a week.
And it's very likely that other factions, or at least other bases, have come around here to scavenge supplies and parts for themselves.
You got that feeling too, huh?
Yeah.
Vultures always like to pick the scraps.
Well,
As
in the type of war we're in, Sarge, sometimes you just gotta pick the scraps to survive.
Yeah. Not saying I'm blaming them, I'm just saying that's what they do.
Well, bear in mind we are right in the middle of the desert, so those scraps, rotten as they might be, could be the difference between survival and death.
So we move on.
Yep, you do end up passing through the brig which is empty, but there's one record that you come across just before the siege, that a private was caught attempting to gain access to the labs and was put into detention, but claimed to have no memory of who he was, what he was doing, or how he got into the labs. At least according to the report you find. Going into as you further go and you see that's the same level of dishevelment, like the whole like somebody picked the bones, or everybody was trying to just wreck the place before they got out. But within a storage area, you find a lot of the technical supplies, including most of the technical components for the base. But something smells off about the base that you're in.
Are we talking actual scent or are we talking just feels off?
Actual scent.
What is it that we're smelling?
Something that would sour your expression.
Like a
I
rotting smell?
think I know what he's
or-
getting at.
A skunk?
Yeah.
No. Oh, fuck.
She we a question, Monk. Did we already get out of our Veritex, or are we still going through these halls with our Veritex?
Obviously since you're in the base now, you're out of your Veritex.
Okay, well, Chia has his fun little carbine at the ready. My little IPC-12 carbine.
Mm-hmm.
That smell is, if it is what I think it is, Monk, it's a smell he's probably smelled before on other battlefields.
Kihir
Yep.
follows suit and pulls her weapon.
Mm-hmm. So,
So Shia is going to just indicate using some hand signals, which I assume are universal in the ASC and in
mhm.
Defense Force, to keep silent and to to advance in a stacked manner, covering each other. Not sure that it's like what SWAT teams do essentially.
Mm-hmm. You do note that the smell is coming from the storage containers.
Okay, so uh, Shia will cautiously, very cautiously, advance to one of the closest storage containers, indicating that the others should stay a little further back and cover him. And then, again, cautiously and with weapon at the ready, open the container.
And for one, the smell gets worse, and two, um, it is a lot of bodies, all of them wearing ASC uniforms.
Unconsciously. Damn it. It's hoping I was wrong, but
Mhm. But
Everybody hears everybody hears Kihir choke a little bit as she tries not to vomit.
I don't care how long
You
you've
can
been
try.
out.
I'm failing at that.
mhm.
And no shame, guys. I don't know how old you get. You never get used to this shit.
she had underneath the lion mask a deep grimace, so it makes him look even more demonic than usual. He's just like, this is more than gross. It pisses him off because these are mass graves essentially. On the uniforms, are there any indication of ranks, Monk?
No,
Are there any
They've been-
names?
no, there's no. This is essentially a mass unmarked grave that was abandoned in a hurry.
But not so much of a hurry that they couldn't strip off all the markings of rank and identity.
Yeah, it's shit.
Interesting.
You probably could, but you'd have to go you could probably find it, but you have to go burying through hundreds of bodies.
Well, that's fun. Shia goes ahead and closes up the storage container again.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, let's keep moving.
But eventually, you guys move up to the second floor of the base, which seems to have most of the offices and labs. A lot of them are dealing with that same level of disrepair, but and just completely trashed. The science office has several high-powered computers, but you see a lot of burnt documents and smashed computers. It does appear that the
Anything
lab
intact
was
at all?
just the fact that it was engaged in studying design schematics, but what was studied was either
Okay.
removed or destroyed.
Okay.
Uh,
Any indications of uh like any indications of Stormbringer or Stormbreaker anywhere?
in the science offices and R&D labs, no. In the analysis labs, you do find that some of the computers are still intact. There's data that seems to concern um, energy reactors in both protoculture and other notes, as well as possible designs, and a file with all contents deleted, designated as Project Stormbreaker.
All contents deleted.
Uh,
Uh
but you do
regardless of what
you do find one terminal still active with a Troilian power generator attached.
okay. Looking over again at Kahir, Shia says, access this and see if there's anything about Stormbreaker.
Kahira cracks her knuckles, rolls her neck. Got it, Lieutenant. She walks over. I am gonna go in guns blazing on this. I'm gonna use the proper gear, and I'm gonna
All
roll
right.
heavy encryption.
All right, make sure to add the skill. Make sure to add 3 dice to the roll. It's still being rolled as normal.
Okay.
While she's doing that, of course, she is going to cover her from behind. He's going to, since she's facing a terminal, he's going to
Oh,
kind of like
hold up. That did
his
not
back
roll
to her back
6.
with the.
Yeah, I was thinking that was a little low. How you?
All right. I've got 3 5s and 2 4s and a 3.
Yep.
So 3 successes.
Mhm. So you do. On the plus side, you are able to recover some data, but all that you're able to really get is what looks like schematics for an underground testing facility for a reflex furnace.
Oh,
One that's completely new.
Shia, look at this.
Briefly, Shia looks over his shoulder because he's still focused on, keeping the gun facing towards any proper threats. Obviously, I'm guessing Dave is also covering us, whereas
Yeah.
Finley is probably being covered. But Shia does look
Hiding.
back at the schematics. Is there anything different about it to Shia than would be to Kahir?
Uh, the main thing that's known is is that there hasn't been an attempt to make a new reflex furnaces were mostly done through reverse engineering the SDF-1.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make a new one happened once. That was on Mars during the tail end of the first Robotech war.
Mm-hmm.
All right, she's going to point to the screen about the underground facility. I think this is going to have to be our next stop if we can find it.
So he looks at the information about the underground facility. Is there anything he would specifically notice beyond what Kahir saw?
That it seems like there was there that a lot of it is redacted, but there's notes on a reflex furnace, which is of course is going to be an energy generator utilizing protoculture,
Hmm.
as well as notes about other types of energy generators. And in the process, even though it's heavily redacted, you end up seeing something a bit familiar.
Does KQ
Okay.
spot this as well?
Again, it just all it says once again is SSCG, and that's it.
Okay. Chia makes the note in the back of his head, but there's no indication outside of that.
Mhm.
All right, we'll go and investigate this. There may be more about Stormbreaker further underground.
But heading to heading to the third floor, you mainly see the the command center, the water the material the controls for the water reclamation plant, and the power generator.
Is the generator damaged?
It was disabled by explosives and is no longer functional, but main power could be substituted with batteries since the conduits are all intact.
Ah,
But as you explore the third floor, you do see a note from a Dr. Kirk requesting additional supplies be allocated to X.
to X. I'm guessing that's a redacted piece of information.
No, it just says X. But a lot of the base is obviously either the base got wrecked in the fighting, or or whoever survived when they tried to evacuate wrecked it on the way out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean more towards the latter.
Well, they had a lot of sensitive materials. That's probably true.
Mhm. But within the third floor are also the directions to get to the train yard as well as to get to X.
Well, it looks like we only have one direction if we're going to continue investigation.
Shade,
Yeah, seems pretty obvious to me.
you think the underground facility that was mentioned in the schematics that we saw a little bit ago could be X?
If they aren't X themselves, they're at least associated with it. That's my guess.
Logic sound.
Mhm.
No way but forward, everybody.
Yep, or in this case, down.
So you do
Oh.
the path that's given leads you back into the train yard, and in particular a hidden train line. This train yard is in a state of partial construction with girders and incomplete platforms, as well as a twin rail track with two different rail cars located on each. One appears to go north, one goes south. There also appears to be natural airflow within the cavern. And the one going north appears to have six cars attached for hauling supplies, while the one going south has only a single empty car.
A single empty car on the southern line.
Yeah. Though there also seems to be a bit of airflow coming in from the southern route.
Hmm.
Were there any other indicators about where X would be from this direction?
Uh, it looks like north, especially since that memo that you found was asking for additional supplies to be sent to X.
Yeah. She makes a note of the car, um, and sweeps that empty car on the southern bound track. Is there anything in there?
No,
Okay. Does it look like it's operable?
it's not operable. But fortunately, um you guys can go through this path in max. There's enough space for you guys.
Okay. So south seems, you know, Shia looks at everybody. The southern path seems to exit. There's airflow, and there was, though it was never used, this cart is open as if it was waiting for someone or something to come to exfiltrate. Where we have to go is north. But we should remember this southern route for if we need to leave quick.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay. So, we're back out in the we're back outside. We're not in the main building anymore because we went back to the train yard, right? Is that correct, Monk?
Um, yeah.
Okay. So, first I indicate to everybody we should probably get back in our Veritex and head north on this secret track
Mhm.
as we head north. Again, gun pod at the ready. Very much a cautious advance.
Mhm. But as you head down, you find a large bulkhead and blast door along the tracks with plain black print on the walls, simply labeling it as X. But oddly enough, there's a familiar hum which indicates that whatever's on the other side of the lab still has power.
Hmm. Uh.
I look over at it, it's like, gotta be a backup generator or something, or a separate generator if it's doing this.
Yeah. Can I use machinations to No, wait, no, never mind, never mind. I lost my train of thought. Is there a keypad anywhere nearby?
No, but as you're examining, you do hear what sounds like a voice on a loudspeaker. Uh, and it simply says it, and what you end up hearing is, "Are you soldiers? It's about time you got here. Is this area secure? Good. Lock it down. We'll be coming out in 15 minutes."
Kay here is going to get out of her Veritech, and she's going to shout at the door, I need you guys to let me in.
All you hear is a loud beep as the door opens, which leads you into a small loading area. There's a smaller security door. There's a smaller security door on the other end, along with some cargo that appears to be computers and parts of machinery, um, which Xiao recognizes as components for a protoculture reactor.
Shia looks around and what? Why though? Using the external loudspeakers on his Veritech. I'm First Lieutenant Shia Jedeg of Hannibal team, associated with the Army of the Southern Cross. Why is there a protoculture reactor here? And what's with the new reflex furnaces being designed?
That is on a need-to-know basis, soldier, and you do not need to know at this point in time. The person on the other line sounds very dismissive of soldiers.
And then right back an immediate rejoinder. Excuse me, but if it has anything to do with Project Stormbreaker, I do need to know. We're here to retrieve all information regarding that project and destroy anything else.
I have the last bit of info, and once you exfiltrate, I will expect you to detonate what's left.
Okay,
Right.
here
And
looks.
who am
Okay,
I was going to say, and just who do I have the pleasure of addressing?
Dr. Joseph Kirk.
All right, Dr. Kirk. We're holding steady out here. We're keeping a clear cordon. Hurry up in there. We can either escort you to some of the vehicles that are still operable in the garage, or we can get you on a car that leads south on the hidden train yards.
But he acknowledges. You eventually see him come out of the smaller security door with what looks with with it looks like an assistant in tow and a briefcase.
Like I said, Chia stayed in his Veritech because, well, guarding. He just says, I assume that briefcase is all of the information for Project Stormbreaker you need.
He acknowledges, saying, "Yes,
All right.
but
but
once what is in here is vital, and I need to make sure that there's nothing left over. Set the charges now."
Right.
all right. Make sure
You're the man.
everybody's cleared out. And I'm going to roll. Ooh, what would be the best for this? I'm going to roll machinations. And while while I'm setting charges, and I'm also going to, how closely is Dr. Kirk watching me?
Um, he doesn't seem to be paying too much attention because, well, if it wasn't obvious enough, he has a massive ego.
All right, what about his assistant?
His assistant seems to be more watching Dr. Kirk.
Okay. I'm going to use another use of the proper gear. And I'm going to roll machinations. Actually, no. Do you think machinations or heavy encryption would be better for this?
Depends on what you're trying to do.
I'm going to download everything onto a
Heavy
flash
encryption.
drive. You got it.
Keep in mind that this is the second use of the proper gear.
Yep, I've already been marking my uses. Don't worry. And because I am operating within my would this count as information dealer or my disposition of calm?
I would say the former.
Alrighty, so because I'm in my element, I get to roll with edge.
Yep.
Alright, here goes. 3 successes.
You managed to make a copy, but just barely before the assistant looks at you, asking what are you doing?
Sorry, I had something stuck in my boot. I was trying to get a pebble out.
The assistant stares for a second, shrugs, and then looks over.
Alright.
Thinking nothing of it. But ready to lead, you end up hearing a bit of a explosion, and as and it becomes clear that a ambush has been with the gate now open. An ambush has happened, because of course I was not going to let that Chekhov's gun go unused,
Of course.
because oh John,
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, saddle up and get your guns ready because it's combat time!
Alright, any chance we can filibuster for a quick second?
um I can
Alright, because I just, I gotta make a quick little run. I will be right back.
yeah um I get it. You've got to take a Harmony Gold.
He's like, I get it. You got to take a Harmony Gold.
That's relevant for other reasons too.
Yes.
But what you guys end up seeing is about 10 Terminator bioroids and a stealth bioroid.
All right.
Not very stealthy if we can see it.
May not
The
have been in stealth.
yeah the stealth bioroid is equipped with a drum pod and a disc pod, and the Terminators are equipped with battle rifles.
Okay, well, clearly the stealth bioroid is in some sort of command capacity here. You know what that means, right, everybody?
Yeah.
Shoot it first.
She is going headhunting, as usual.
But what you do end up hearing is you end up hearing over the PA of that bioroid. This is Adjutant Cadona of Legion Nihilus. Hand over the doctor immediately, and no hostilities will be raised.
Alright, sorry about that.
Over shortwave communications with the doctor, why would they want you?
Clearly they want someone as brilliant as me. He doesn't know, but he's just using this to play up the idea that he is this genius.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Lord.
at that point, Shia rolls his eyes, and the could you spell that commandant's name?
Let me write it in the chat for you.
Okay.
Alright,
Cadona.
so what did I miss?
You missed Commandant Cadona of Nihilus Legion, introducing himself and demanding
Not commandant, adjutant,
adjutant. That's
and
right.
she.
You heard her introducing herself and demanding the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm assuming that the doctor's the VIP that Captain Prana wanted us to retrieve. So, in response, Shia can fast talking be part of Flash move? I think it could.
Yes.
Be. As both distraction and an initiation of combat, Shia says, "I'm First Lieutenant Shia Jedeg of the Army of the Southern Cross. The Doctor is unfortunately our VIP." As he's talking, he dashes forward past the Terminators towards the stealth bioroid, because, well, you know, it's the head of this group. Time to take it out.
Headhunter!
Headhunter and Exemplar at the same time. And at the same as he's dashing, he says, "And besides, your head would look good on a pike." So
And as soon as he says that, I'm gonna jump in and cover, and I'm gonna cover my buddy.
yep. So, um, do I at least roll with Edge Monk, or what do you want me at rolling at here?
Um, yeah, we're gonna go with edge. I was thinking advantage, but that might be a bit too much.
Okay, 5 dice flash move. That's 3 successes with my. Actually, hold on. Let me check the kit pack for that again. I'm flash moving into range. Oh, since I'm attacking with my gun pod monk, I already start with edge.
So you would get advantage.
All right.
Let's just
So I
count
gotta
it
re-roll
as
that.
is. Okay, let's go to advantage and try and re-roll this. I think I'll just take the first roll anyway.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. The first roll and the second roll are the same. It's 3 either way. A 4 is a 1 and 5 is 2 when you have advantage. What's it showing over here? 4, 2, 4,
Showing
2,
4.
3. I've refreshed twice and my 3D dice still say 1, 2, 2, 4, 5.
Yeah, let's count the dice on screen. Yeah, to give it 4 successes.
Roll 20.
Well, 20, I've refreshed you multiple times now. I did my due diligence of refresh before bitching. Monk, I guess 4 successes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, four successes is what we will go with.
And it's technically the gun pod apparently. Hold on, I'm reading this. The gun pod has blast 3.
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, it's only a 3-meter blast radius. That's not very big considering the size of a Bioroid or a Veritech. But if I were firing on people, that'd be a lot more. But yeah, I'm gonna dash past the Terminators, approach the stealth Bioroid, gun pod against the actual torso of the Bioroid, and pull that trigger.
So that is as a total of 4 that first off that goes over armor, but as a means to block it, it tries to hold up its one of its gun pods to kind of protect the vital areas, and that pod gets completely blown off.
Yep.
So
hardware point hardware equipment can be sacrificed instead of structure.
yeah, so its remaining structure is 1, but it's lost one of its gun pods.
Yeah. So I managed to at least clip it somewhat, even through its own gun pod.
Mm-hmm.
And of course,
well, this is where I step in. Because this is where I already said I'm going to cover my butt. I'm covering your buddy.
Yep.
So seeing that it's pretty weakened at this point, I'm going to step in and fire off a few shots on my end.
All right, roll it.
All right. Ah, fuck.
That should have been rolled with edge.
I did not realize that. Let me go ahead and do that again then.
Reroll.
I got 1.
So good news, you managed to hit. Bad news is it's not a kill shot because they sacrificed their wrist claws to to for it. Better news, that means they're missing an arm. One of their arms got fucked up and they just jettisoned it. So they've got one arm that's armed and are somewhat holding on.
Fun.
I yell out over the loudspeaker, "Surrender! You're disarmed!"
Your bad pun kills him. His head explodes. The end.
But
This is what we call offensive punetry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to. I had to give Dirge a hand there.
Why? You've already got one lying on the ground in front of you.
But many hands makes light work.
but
Anyway.
so that's the action for Xia and David. For Dirge and Kathir, you still have your actions.
Well, I think I'm going to shoot at one of the ones near the stealth fighter to try and cause a little chaos in their ranks. So I'll probably do that with a little bit of a smooth method.
All right. Roll it.
Fuck!
Damn!
Woo, go Dirge.
I think he hit. I think he did more than cause chaos. I think some guys are dropping.
Yeah, that's
Boom.
one swarm down.
Let the bodies hit the fucking floor.
Woo, go Dirge.
That was the plan.
Done.
I want to cause chaos. I did it.
Did more than that, my friend. Good job.
My apostle has done well.
Hey, this is the power of a third gen.
But that leaves Kathir.
Yep. And Kehir is going to use close quarters to attack the other swarm with her Sylphid.
All right. Roll it.
All right, rolling normal.
Yes.
Nope. Wrong amount of dice.
Ah, damn it.
Two success. One success. That's not bad.
That's supposed to be.
I was
So
about
you-
to say that's a bit too many dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you did manage to take one of them out. So one of the Terminators no longer has a head.
He's been terminated.
Well, that's certainly no way to get ahead in life.
Mhm.
And he shouldn't have lost his head over something this simple.
I was gonna say it's what everybody wants.
Heads are gonna roll.
I guess you could just call me Queen Anne.
Oh.
I heard she went bowling.
But that leaves the. You do see that that she ends up ordering the Terminator squad to cover her as they try and lay down covering fire against you. So
Cover her in what? Body parts?
but because of the fact that this is, well, first off, they're rolling 4, but they are rolling at hindrance since they're just trying to lay covering fire.
So 2 successes.
2 successes versus your guys' respective armor.
I have 2 armor. I take no damage.
Right. David, how much armor does your mech have?
I'm pulling it up now. Let's see, I'm on my
2 armor
unicorn.
plus 1 resist. So yeah.
I'm taking wait, armor for the mecha?
Yeah.
I'm taking 1 hit.
Is this an energy attack?
Yes.
Then +4 armor, so yeah, fucking they ain't touching me.
Dirge.
2 armor and 1 resist. They're not touching me either.
All right. And as for the stealth bioroid that our agent is using. Let's see, that is going. And because of the fact because of the whole one arm thing and heavily damaged, this is going to be rolled with disadvantage.
Ooh. 1 success.
1 success trying to shoot at Xia. And that is, I know that's not hitting.
Pink.
No, not pink, not pink. Miss.
Oh,
Remember, Remember, you're the speedy boy in combat.
this is true. It's just like with the head of the fucking Veritech just cocks it to the side as the shot goes past. Just where were you aiming?
And now it's your guys' round.
Okay. At this point, she is gonna clean up our stealth bioroid friend here by moving very quickly behind her and well, gun pod to the back this time. I think 4 successes means there's a sudden lack of leadership on the enemy team.
You would shoot a man in the back. Well, it's the safest way, isn't it?
Exactly. So like I said, she had just does it's the classic Trans Am move from Gundam 00 where he's in front and suddenly he's in back. I even have the red paint job for the red after trails. Gun pod in the back, and it's like RVIP. Nice knowing you. Pulls the trigger on the gun pod.
Yep. And unfortunately, that is enough to cause the remaining Terminators to retreat, because no captain means they're in disarray, which means they're going to be rushing to find a replacement leadership.
Yep. So from there, Shia, keeping the gun pod at the ready, looks over at Dave. Sarge, we're taking point. Looks over at Dirge. Finley, you've got rear guard. Looks over at Kahir. You got dinged. You got winged. Take the doctor. You're going to be our package.
All right.
And so we're going to trek back at least to the north-south switchway. And when we get there, Shia is going to ask, Doctor, would it be more efficient to just go south and exit this way, or should we go to the garage and get the vehicles?
The train would be the quickest way out of here.
All right. Are there any engines we can use, or are we just going to be pushing you?
The train should have fuel. It was meant to be used pretty frequently.
Okay. Looking at Dirge again. Finley, if you can, find an engine that has fuel that we can hook up to this open car on the South Trailway. Or on the South train tracks. Looks over to David. Well, we're going to be guarding points to make sure nothing else comes in on us, so while we're preparing all this.
Roger that.
All right, I head out and start looking.
Um,
Mhm.
essentially, essentially now that we're on evac protocol, uh, all's well and good, and we're far enough away from X. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Over shortwave comms to everybody. Uh, notice once we got a train engine attached and rolling, I'm detonating the package.
Noted.
Roger that.
And so that she has got head on swivel, gun pointing at any twitchy shadow that might be moving, and is ready to just blow this joint and go south to Adelaide.
No shooting the dingoes.
A dingo ate my baby.
That's exactly why.
I am going to revive a meme that's old. Yes.
It's an older meme, sir, but it checks out.
Mhm.
So I believe Dirge is looking for a train engine.
Yes, one that
Yeah.
still has power and
All
or
right.
fuel.
So in that, I want you to roll for that.
I think with that one, that would probably be best doing under science.
Nope.
Well, you do
Okay.
manage to find one, but you're gonna have to do a bit. You're gonna have to do a bit of work to actually get it working.
All right, that means fix it time.
But that at least puts him in his element of engineer.
Yep, exactly.
Oh yeah, that's working now.
That's what I needed, and that wasn't even with Edge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
With Edge, it still would have been the same result, though. If it was an advantage, it'd be 6 successes.
Either way, we're looking good.
We are. Sitting pretty.
Yep. But you do eventually manage to get the escape train set up, including the. But with the train, there's six cars here. You've got the locomotion engine, obviously. One car has an elevated platform with two Brasilia guns. One of them is just full of rocks. One of them has three Minotaur power armors and a Dryad. One of them has a big pipe strapped to it, and the last one has a few strapped down girders that are good enough to have cover.
All right. Are the rocks just piled up like they're ore or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Looking over at the doctor again. What are those rocks even for? Is that just dirt hauled out from the digging?
That is correct.
Okay. Shia goes over and kind of just kicks the rocks off the flatbed.
Actually, just before you get there, I say, hold on, hold on. What if we were to put an explosive in there underneath it and use it as shrapnel in case of emergency? A covering explosion, shall we say?
I look at Finley and I say, I like the way you think, but the problem is that would also split the flatbed, and then all of a sudden all the cars detach.
True.
If we place it a little higher up in the pile, that won't happen. So Finley wants to rig an explosive in the middle of the rock pile as an impromptu mecha mine.
I have evil thoughts every now and then.
It's not an evil thought. It's brilliant.
Only every now and then. I'm surprised.
It's brilliant.
No, the evil ones are.
What would it take for him to do that, Monk? What would he have to do to rig that as an impromptu fragmentation mine / grenade?
That's roll. I can fix it, but roll with at the very least edge.
It's 3 successes.
When that mine goes off, whoever's in the blast range is going to be taking 3 damage.
Now that's what I like to hear.
That's 3 mecha damage too,
Mm-hmm.
because they're giant boulders. All right, so the two big guns, are those human guns or mecha-sized guns?
Those are mecha-sized guns.
Okay. And I assume that because they're on a raised platform, there's also some sort of cover automatically built into that too.
Yeah, it is essentially a turret for a mech.
Yeah. Looking over at the Sylphid, you've got one of those guns. She looks over at Dave and at Dirk.
Oh,
Is Zan cutting out for
Whoever-
everyone else?
Yeah.
yeah.
Hello.
Zan?
You cut out there
Probably
for a second.
probably. Okay. Probably just a minor hiccup. I said, looking over at Dave and Dirge, you two can decide who gets the other turret. The last person's coming back with me to those girders as cover.
I say it's probably best for me to come back with cover. I got better armor than most of the people here.
Yeah, and I'm good at covering fire, so I'd probably be better on the turrets.
If anyone, since the gun here has cover itself, maybe put Kathair there just so she's got a little extra protection, since she seems to have the least armor.
All right. Well, the big thing is that that's the reason I'm putting her on one of the turrets is because she has the least armor and she's already taken damage.
Yeah, exactly. So give her a little more cover on those things.
Yeah, she gets
Yep.
one, I get the other, and then you
Yep.
guys will be the back.
Yep, sounds good
Yep.
to me.
All right, let's
So
roll.
with all stations determined, Shia then goes to the doctor. All right, doctor, take your position, take cover. We're going to start the engine, and we're going to escape through the south exit.
The doctor complies, and as the train's engine activates, you guys start to move with your positions set.
Yep. Obviously, because we do have cover and support on these girders. I'm treating this like an actual station with a rifle, monk. I'm using those girders to support my aim and everything.
Yep. So with that said, I think that is as good of a spot as any for us to go to break.
All right, folks, you heard it here first. It is time to get your snacks, get your drinks, use the little boys and girls room, and we will see you in 10 minutes.
Huzzah.
we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
So, as the train starts going and going, it eventually goes out of the underground and into the open area. Because of how long this has been taking, it's now nighttime. So the main illumination you've got is the moon and the stars. But right, but as you are going, you'd hear the sound of several bioroids.
Okay. They're chasing us while we're on
Expecting
the.
we got company.
Oh yeah, lots of company chasing you on hover sleds.
Jesus.
Because of this, anybody that gets knocked down because of how fast the train is going, they're considered out. They're considered out of play.
Yeah.
So don't fall off.
Yeah. Is there a? Never mind. Shortwave comms around everybody else. If we can hit the hover sleds, we can get them to stop. It may be better to just aim for those.
Yeah, and
Another stealth bioroid?
Mm.
Or is that just a token that was left over?
Nope, it's another one.
Oh boy.
You got a stealth bioroid and a bunch of scouts.
Yeah. That's always nice.
Some of them in trooper sleds, some of them in heavy hover sleds.
All right.
And you hear that same voice of the adjutant.
The adjutant.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't I kill her though?
Clone number 2.
Clones, remember?
Yeah, I know. But I thought the Nihilist Legion was all one man.
So with that said, they again announce they're basically trying to get close enough to either disable the train or just destroy it entirely, including all of you. So,
Okay.
with that said, what's your opening move?
Alright, K-Hit's not gonna fuck around this time, and she's going to, let's see. What's closest to her in regards to the sleds? What'd you think?
Well, which car are you on?
She's in the. She's on the
I'm
car
what-
with the.
I'm on one of the, turrets.
There's no environmental advantage. You guys are going through a train in the desert at night.
Yeah, but we're
I'm
asking
which enemy is closest to me.
They're at the same amount. They're at the same amount of range. There's not one that's closer or further.
Alright, she's going to aim for the head of the pack then.
All right. Roll it.
Alright, and let's see. For that, I guess that would be smooth method.
If you want it to be smooth method, then it is smooth method.
We'll roll smooth method.
Nice.
2 successes.
Okay.
That was pretty smooth.
The bad news is that's not a kill shot. Good news is no armor.
Woo!
So that's K-Theater's action. So what do the rest of you have planned as they're
All right,
slowly trying to get they're basically trying to get you in a pincer.
Yeah. Well, again, we've kind of learned at this point, take out the leader and the rest fall pretty quickly. So I'm going to follow suit, and I'm actually gonna try to slow him down with a little heavy encryption.
All right, roll it.
Three successes.
All right, you don't fully disable them, but you do use a interference wave to keep them from getting closer while they're trying to deal with the mobility problem on their sleds.
It buys us more time to finish him off. I'm taking it.
Once again, Shia is aiming at our adjutant friend here with intent to finally kill this bastard. And using the gun pod. Are they in short range or medium range, Monk?
I would say they are in medium range.
Okay, so still within range. I don't have to use the extended range. But yeah, pointing at the stealth bioroid leading them, Shia over a loudspeaker goes, "Shoot one of you, two more pop up. It's like a duck hunt." And just decides that, well, I don't like you in particular. Go, Gunpod, go.
Woo!
Damn, son!
Well, because the Gunpod already gets edge, and then I'm HUD hunting, so...
Mm-hmm. It would have been a clean hit, but the scout that it was riding shotgun with gets in the way, and you see that stealth bioroid leap off and apparently activating its stealth module.
Yet. Onto which car was it nearest?
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell in the dark.
Okay. Over shortwave comms real quick. The stealth bioroid is aboard the train. Keep your head on a swivel.
But that's it. That's one scout down.
Okay, so when it got onto the train, right?
Yeah, but
It
we don't know
could've-
what car it's on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it happens to move any rocks, we know exactly what to do.
Indeed. Or you know exactly what to do.
Yeah, if I see any rocks moving, the rocks are going for a little flight. As long as ever...
I was going to say, if you see any rocks moving, you'll make sure they move further.
Much further and much quicker.
I guess this is a case of Team Rocket's blasting off again.
At the speed of light.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Meowth, that's right.
All right. You know what? I think, okay, we're on the back there with those girders, aren't we?
Yep, we're using the girders as cover.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I'm going to take one of those girders and fling it at the bioroids, see if I can use it to knock their hover things out. Do a little smooth move to try and take out their ability to even chase us.
He is Bender, insert girder.
Exactly.
How did I know? How did I know? Probably because I am too genre savvy for my own good.
So I'm just guessing that's going to be regular.
Yeah.
2 successes with your girder at a hover sled.
Well, I guess I'm going to gird their loins.
Yeah, you managed to take out the sled. The Bioroid tries to jump onto another sled, and problem with jumping in the dark is it's kind of hard to see even with advanced detections.
Where are you gonna
So
land?
somewhere in the desert.
And another one bites the dust.
Yeah. He's not dead,
Literally.
but the problem is by the time he's able to recover, the train is several miles off. This thing is going at full speed. So let me take that one off the roster.
Pull a little Final Destination here.
But
So who's next?
All right, Goldberg.
I think the only person left would be Sarge there.
No, I already went.
No,
remember?
he went right after me.
Oh, that's true. Well, then it's all of us. We're done.
yep. So that being the all right, so it's gonna be lieutenants.
Shit, did not mean to click that.
Well, then you shouldn't have clicked it. Do that.
I was trying to click back over to my character sheet and I wound up accidentally opening Chrome.
Oops.
So the remaining scout bioroids are going to start attacking. The first one is going to be aiming at Tia
Okay.
and rolling
Good thing
as
she's
normal.
got cover.
I mean, I'm behind cover too and everything,
Oh,
but it's okay.
it's a whiff.
It's a whiff regardless.
Mm-hmm. So that's one. Second one is going to jump off its sled and try and get on the train, which
It's doing the hindrance at the very least because we're a barreling train.
yeah,
All right.
and that's gonna be done with a
Yes.
Wow.
well. On the plus side, it manages to get on the train. On the downside, it chose the wrong car to jump onto.
Oh no. Is it
No.
on the one I like?
All of a sudden, you hear, "Oh, landmines!" Wait, landmines?
Landmines!
I mean, let's wait to see if more people jump onto that car before setting it off at the very least.
Yeah. I'm waiting for unnoticed movement on the car, not noticed movement.
All right.
But
Nope.
if there's enough notice movement, you should still press the button.
Question:
Yeah,
Can
for
I?
some-
Question:
Mhm.
Can I use counter position to shoot the guy that just jumped onto the rock car?
Yes. Roll with hindrance.
All right.
Do it now.
Do it.
All right. That's 3 dice.
Wipe them out.
Yeah, that was a whiff.
You managed to get him on the defensive, but no hits.
All right. What's the next bitch gonna do?
So, next one is going to attempt to do covering fire.
Fun.
That one's going to be aiming at Dirge.
And whiffing.
Actually, I need to re-roll that because that was with hindrance. Should have been normal. Never
And
mind.
whiffing.
Still whiff.
The dice just didn't like it.
The dice
The
got
dice
shown no
say,
mercy.
Amen.
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 The dice
So-
say no.
The last two are going to be attempting to make their own attacks at David.
Oh shit.
What's
Oh,
your armor?
The energy attacks.
Yes.
Then they don't get hit shit. I have +4 armor for energy attacks.
With the masters, you should always assume that they're using energy weapons.
All right, yeah. Because since I'm on my unicorn, I have anti-energy armor.
So now for the other one. Oh, that
Also
definitely
does
doesn't
not
hit.
hit.
Mm-hmm. And now it is your guys' turn.
All right, worst things first. Before we do any other attacks, I want to check because I want to do a scanning sweep to see if our leader is where we want him to be.
Let's see if the stealth mech is on rocks.
Yep.
I want a rock.
Rock, dun dun, dun dun.
2 successes.
I wanna ride.
You know that you didn't get a confirmed destroy, so it's not dead, but you can't find it.
Damn it.
The speed and the noise is not allowing for that kind of precise material. Plus, well, this is it's a stealth bioroid.
Yep. Okay, well, Shia is going to be doing something a little fun here. I have mini missiles. I am going to use my mini missiles to try and blow up some sleds, which means I'm getting 3 extra dice for this attack. I'm not going to be using flash move, obviously, because I'm, well, not actually moving, but I absolutely will be using man-at-arms. It goes to normal because I'm not using my gun pod or attacking a meter. What'd I get? 3 successes.
Yeah, that's going to be 3.
Even though it says 2 in the fucking log because it did it wrong a fucking again.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to clarify something because, yeah, I did scanning sweep, but I also have an advanced sensor unit. Shouldn't I have had an easier time finding the damn thing?
With the amount of successes you got, not enough.
All right, just figured I'd ask.
Maybe next time it'll give you edge. I'm not sure if that's what Monk wants to do with the advanced sensor.
Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to use mine because mine actually does have the sensors that are supported by AI, and it says it gains edge in actions doing that.
So Monk, that's 3 successes. That's 3 hits with missiles that have a blast of 3 against the nearest hover sled.
All right, in that particular case, so these 2 are going to take 3 damage, but it's straight to armor.
All right.
Actually, no. What I remember this. I'm on the rule of 10 thing, so these 2 are technically out.
Their sleds are destroyed and they fell to the ground.
Their sleds are destroyed and their sleds exploded.
Oh, well. There's another 2 hash marks for my mech.
Okay.
They did not fail at the Itano dance.
Oh boy, that's not good.
Itano Circus, everybody.
All right. I want to use my sensor cluster, which does give me an edge for actions. I'm also going to use the talent Get It Done and science that with the whole sensor sweep and try and find this damn stealth one.
All right, roll it.
So would that be just edge with that?
Yeah.
3 successes.
What you're able to find is that whoever's doing that stealth spiroid is using a lot of electronic jamming. But in terms of the source, you weren't able to nail it down. And because of the way these stealth works, it's not like you can use your eyes. It's full thermoptics. This is full on stealth.
All right. So Kay here is getting a little pissed off and trying to find this guy too. And I want to use heavy encryption to send out a big ass virus to fuck with their tech.
All right, roll it.
Also, I'm using my last use on the proper gear for that.
All right.
So 3 additional die. Because I'm gonna. Does this count as dirty fighter?
No.
Damn. Alrighty. Normal it is then. Wish me luck, guys.
Good luck.
Ah, fuck.
Didn't have the proper amount of dice. There you go. Now you have the proper amount of dice. 2 successes.
Actually, go ahead.
The good news is you found the stealth bioroid. The bad news is it is right in front of you and taking a swing with its claws.
Alright, I'm switching to fucking fighter mode and I'm gonna throw a punch back at the bitch.
Fighter mode? Aren't you already in Battleroid mode?
Yeah, we all are.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were restricted to Battleroid form.
Okay,
But you're
then
also
I'm
sitting in the turret. She's in the turret, Monk. The turret's got to give her additional cover and stuff.
Behind.
Yeah. I'm not gonna bother shooting. I'm gonna make a melee attack and that's gonna be with edge.
All right, roll it.
At home. Okay, so I'm gonna use close quarters for this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's rolling at edge. 3 successes.
You managed to do a weapon lock. But while that's happening, whoever is inside the bioroid gets out of the cockpit and fires what looks like a flashbang. And by the time you're able to recover, they're out of sight. And unfortunately, so is the doctor.
Oh, shit!
Fuck. Guys, this isn't a total loss.
You do see what looks like an assault dropship heading off and doing covering fire.
All right. Can we put in over comms to have somebody tag that ship?
How close is that ship to us right now, Monk?
Extreme. And the remaining scouts are retreating but as they do, you do hit the drop ship that they apparently had starts firing on the train and more or less ends up taking it out.
Do we contact our ship and try to get them to stop and try to step in?
They're not going to. They're in Adelaide. That's where the rendezvous point was.
But after a bit, the static starts clearing, and you do hear Captain Prana's voice saying, "Hannibal, this is Spirit Actual. Command has amended the mission, requires Dr. Kirk himself. His capture is deemed a security risk. Sadly, the dropship flew out of our tracking range. Fortunately, there's a listening station in Hobart, Tasmania that should have the tracking data we need to find out where that damn dropship went. Spirit will pick you up in 20 and drop you at Adelaide Air Station. They'll have equipment waiting for you can use at Hobart. Actual out."
This is Hannibal lead. Understood.
No, they already
Over.
disconnected, dude.
No. You still have to send back in the.
You still have to acknowledge the orders.
Yep.
Kay here
It's-
opens a short comm directly over to Shia. So that way Dave and Dirge don't hear this. It's not a complete loss.
Yeah.
I have a copy of the information.
She over the shortwave. Even if we have the information, they have the doctor, and that's a security risk, as Captain Prana pointed out.
I'm aware. I just wanted to let you know that it is not a total loss, especially if things don't go to plan with retrieving the doctor.
I understand.
But eventually the train stops at what's left of Adelaide. The majority of the city is flooded, leaving a small populace living at the edge of what was once a capital city. On one side of the muddy banks, you see people trying to rebuild as best they can. But on the other side, towards the northwest, a small, old, and decrepit military outpost sits. This is TAF-based Adelaide, a collection of rusted tin sheds used as hangars and the crumbling red brick buildings for the rest. A chain-link fence surrounds the perimeter, broken in some areas and held together with little more than string and baling wire. As you end up approaching one of the open airfields.
Sorry.
You see that the nearest security station is at the edge of the cordoned off airfield. Upon approaching, you see that the airbase only has about 6 people. Which is, for the base this size, is severely undercrewed. Those are you can see from the uniforms that they're from the TAF, specifically the 27th Division. But as you approach and examine what's left, you do hear another message from Captain Prana. "Hannibal, quick heads up on the tracking station itself. The station is divided between 2 separate listening posts. They're located at Franklin Gordon National Park, northeast of Hobart. Listening Post A is located near Lake Gordon, and Listening Post B is further up in the mountains. It's rough wilderness. The TAF forces state the city of Hobart is occupied. Rather than have you guys get flanked while retrieving the data, they seem to think it's better to blitz through the enemy formation and decimate them. So you'll circumvent around the island to assault Hobart from the water, land in, and clear through while the TAF clean up. Simple and straightforward. It should leave you with whatever remnants they have. It should leave you only whatever remnants they have left in the woodlands, if any.
This is Hannibal lead. Understood. Will we have any chance to resupply and repair before making the assault? Over.
Make do with what's in Adelaide. We don't have time. We don't have time to give you resupply from Carthage.
Understood. This is Hannibal lead out. So to the rest of the crew, any repairs we got to make here, and we got to make them with what we have. As for resupply, well, scavenge what you can.
From what it sounds like, Kathier's mech was the one that took the most amount of damage.
The only amount of damage.
I was gonna say it. Even then, it wasn't much.
It was 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of us is just literally just resupplying our ammunition. We're good. Even that, we didn't use much.
Mm-hmm. Which is certainly fair. And as far as the other soldiers, they who are left, they're definitely older types who've been stuck in the space for a while and haven't seen much in the way of action, which is why they end up acting a bit lax.
Mm-hmm.
But what definitely changes their mind, it definitely changes their attitude, is the notion that you guys are going to be gearing up for a fight.
All right, I do have a quick question. Is there any chance that the Sylphid can be outfitted with like a long range, almost sniper type weapon?
They don't have that here.
Ah, shit.
And because of how bare bones the base is, the TAF isn't keen on sharing stuff that might go onto their stuff.
Fair enough.
But in terms of what they're going to be rolling out, it is mostly some old VA Thunderstrikes.
Yeah, Thunderstrikes. Those are old as fuck.
Yeah, also known as the Robohog.
Yeah.
Which they're technically two-mode Veritex, but
Technically.
they are 3 days older than dirt. They're also rolling out a Tunny transport plane and a Comanchero helicopter.
Fun.
But it is a squadron that certainly is going to work. How elegant it's going to work is up to you. But at least on the plus side, these are definitely Air Force vehicles, given all of the extra liveries on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the squadron is approaching Hobart from the direction of the port, which is how you're going to be airdropping in, basically going alongside the helicopter. As they also have a few destroids that they're going to be rolling out. Some old ass destroids, but destroids nonetheless.
It's a hodgepodge then.
Mm-hmm.
Shia looks at the various suits and goes, "Are we going to actually be able to take out the occupying force? So many of these are old and in disrepair."
you hear one say, "Well, even the devil eats flies, so we're not get, we're not getting top of the line stuff all the way out here."
I'm just not sure that the Robotech masters will be as understanding of our lackings of one of it.
Mhm. But eventually, you make your assault from the waters, coming in basically in an attack in a very aggressive attack run, essentially a blitz, just with air. Uh,
I assume we're allowed to transform our Veritex again now.
yeah. Well,
Well,
those of
you
you who
guys are.
can.
Yeah, I'm grumbling the whole time, going, "God damn it! I wish I could go into helicopter mode."
Mhm. But as you engage the masters, and mainly the mainly gun positions that are trying to do barrage attacks to slow you guys down. You do eventually get on ground as you're making a blitz for uh, Franklin Gordon National Park.
Yeah.
And as the conflict continues on, you do hear one of the guys from the TAF say, "Hey, Hannibal, me and the fellas have got this ragtag band of trigger-happy aliens. Let us handle the mooks and vent our frustrations on them. You guys get to the tracking station."
Responding to the TAF. Well, bag you some critters. Make sure to cook them real good before you eat them, though.
Roger that.
And then to the rest of the team. All right, we're going on ahead to the first listening post in the national park.
Now, the as you head towards the national park, um, with some bits of frost from the morning still lingering in, um, the usual local wildlife in the park aren't even within listening distance. But you see, the park covers an area surrounding two large lakes. There's two listening stations, each tied to a local generator, and you're gonna and those listening stations are going to have the tracking data.
All right. So we have to get the generators up and running to pull the data from each station.
Yeah, one of them is at Lake Gordon. The other one is at Cradle Mountain.
Yep.
Matter of which one are you guys going to be going to first?
Which is harder?
Yes.
I think fighting an uphill battle is usually harder than fighting a downhill one, Monk. So, Cradle Mountain's probably the better target to start with.
Mm-hmm.
You say that, but Anakin proves you wrong.
No, he doesn't. He lost the uphill battle specifically because it was an uphill battle.
You underestimated his power.
And he still lost.
Yeah. He could not get a leg up on the competition.
It was an expensive lesson. You could say it just cost him an arm and a couple legs.
But atop the forest, peaking just above the dense canopy, you see the radar dish of the Cradle Mountain listening station.
Mm.
It sits in a small clearing near the mountaintop and is divided between two levels. The first level of the building is dedicated to the relay station and contains intelligence gathering systems. The second floor consists of the crew quarters, but this station has long since been abandoned. But you do see weird machines hardwired into the human designed systems.
machines that are clearly not human.
Mm-hmm. So, because of this, if you're technically trained, you can roll to see what's going on with that system.
All right, let's do it. Let's go with science that shit with engineer and see what we got.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, do I roll that with edge or just normal?
Um,
I mean, you got 3 successes even as normal. It would be edge since you would be doing engineering stuff in your element, but
yeah, what you do end up learning is that the alien tech that's there is being used to feed the enemy with information on orbital defenses and local ground unit positions.
Well, let's fix that so that it gives consistently wrong information.
to the enemy. And correct
Exactly.
information to us.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you do end up giving it basically a junk data feed. Uh,
Goody.
so it's still feeding info. It's just feeding wrong info.
It's also feeding every now and then the cafeteria menu and vuvuzelas.
Vuvuzelas.
Yes, we have to go with them every now and then.
There you go.
Funny thing is, that's the second time we've invoked that.
Yes, it is.
In
The
this
first time
game.
was in the first session.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I did it the first time, so let's keep it up.
It apparently works. Apparently the Robotech Masters and the Zentradi are weak to Vuvuzelas. But we also have to extract the tracking data from these as well, don't we, Mo?
Yeah. The good news is it can be extracted. Here's the bad news. It's got to be done manually.
I mean, somebody's got to get out and go do it.
Mm-hmm.
And this place could still have bad guys. Actually, do we know if this place still has bad guys? You said it looked abandoned.
They might be assuming
Well-
that they've got it already covered with the secondary systems.
Well, just in case, I can always run a scanning sweep.
That's a good idea.
Let's get my advanced sensors going here. Oh, hell yeah.
Just some inactive drones.
Inactive.
Inactive, but not dead.
You know where the drones are. Shall we blow them up?
I think that's a lovely idea, my friend.
So we're just gonna blow up the inactive drones if we can from external.
Yeah.
I assume that since they're inactive, we don't really need to make any accuracy rolls.
No, it's fucking drones.
You know. Kaboom! All the drones are dead.
Pop, pop.
Yep. It's probably a little overkill using mecha weapons on things that aren't mecha, but you know.
There's no kill like overkill.
Exactly. Thank you, Nick.
But
With that, we've cleared a channel for whomever wants to extract the data to extract the data.
this does mean that it does take a few minutes, but you are able to do a successful extraction. But the data is incomplete.
Yep. And you did one from the other station, right?
Yep. So it sounds like you guys are heading to Lake Gordon.
Yes. Now that we've got data here, and we've also started feeding them junk data on their tacticals, along with some vuvuzelas, it's time to go to the next place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait.
Located on the far end of Lake Gordon, this station is powered but abandoned. Its crew long since evacuated or disappeared. But the station is still sending and receiving tracking information and signals from space. Like the other one, it has a small 2-story building. And this one also has traces of Master's occupation with similar unknown components.
Oh,
So,
lovely.
Dirge, roll again as you did for the last one. Since you're familiar, since you already did this with the last one, roll with advantage instead of edge.
Neff? There we
All right. It appears that they're using this station's functions to feed intelligence to their ships in order to spy on troop movements and bugging the data network to intercept intel.
So I wasn't able to get the music this time, but
But we're feeding them more junk data?
of course.
Well,
But no,
one of them was messing around with intel from from orbits. This one is messing with ground-based intel.
yeah. So now we've fed them junk data in both fronts.
Mm-hmm.
That much tactical junk data is going to get them killed. You really are what you eat. You should watch your figure when eating junk data.
Mm-hmm. But after a few more minutes, you guys are able to get the second half of the data needed.
Yep. At that point, Hannibal lead to Spirit Actual. We have the full tracking data. Over.
I do a shortwave to you. Are you going to report to them that they were spying on our network?
I just nod, like my Veritech nods at Dirge. But when to start with mission success, then we add on the additionals. But yeah, so Shia does radio Spirit Actual at that point to get in touch with Captain Fonda.
Mm-hmm. Head back. Head back to head back to head back to Adelaide and stand by for evac.
I mean, all the way to Adelaide? Do we have to get on another transport? Monk? This is out of character, by the way.
My bad, not Adelaide, Hobart.
Hobart. Yeah, okay. Understood. As an addendum, Spirit Actual, we discovered that the listening posts had been infiltrated by the Robotech Masters and were being used to feed tactical data and positionings for both orbital and ground units to their ships and their troops. Luckily, Sergeant Finley here was able to begin feeding them erroneous data. So that should give us an edge. Over.
Acknowledged. Be sure to get there quickly for evac because it's still a hot zone. We can't stay too long.
Understood. Hannibal lead over and out. Okay. Turns to everybody else. All right, we've got our marching orders. We got to get back to Hobart quicker than the dead people can.
So, as you get in and exfiltrate, you don't have a whole lot of time to celebrate with the maintenance crew. Although one of them looks at the Sylphid and just looks at it with dismay and looks straight at Kay here and go, what did you do to my baby?
Honey.
Wait, what?
She got distracted. Someone's not happy about how you modified yourself, Ed.
Not
No, not
modified. The fact that it got shot up.
Oh, I got dinged. Oh, I got dinged.
Hot zones are hot zones. At least it didn't blow up.
Woman, you are should be very thankful I'm not requesting you be put on potato duty.
Chia simply shakes his head for a second while listening to Kahir and looks at the maintenance inspector. We were facing an adjutant from one of the legions. They got a lucky hit in.
I see.
We killed at least one of them, but they're a bunch of fucking clones, so...
One moment.
Yeah, take your time. He'd probably filibuster a bit if he said one moment.
Yeah.
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 Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Definitely need more vuvuzelas or whatever.
Vuvuzelas.
Let's not. We'll lose everybody who watches. But at this point, she is just bemused. The Logan did pretty well. The VF6 did really well. VFA6. There's a lot here to be happy about what happened. But there could always be more. Also, Shia goes over to Dirge for a second. Just let me know when you have this thing transforming. I was a test pilot for a long time. I'll give her her paces.
Oh, what do you think I've been doing at nights trying to get this thing working?
Make sure you at least get a small amount of sleep, Finley.
Good luck with that, Lieutenant.
If he doesn't sleep, he won't be able to stay awake long enough to work on his precious mecha, so he's got to balance the act somehow.
That's what caffeine is for.
I reiterate
Lieutenant.
my previous comment.
Lieutenant, you're not wrong. But trying to wrangle in this kind of psycho never ends well, trust me.
I'm not trying to wrangle him. I'm just encouraging him to at least sleep a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. It's not a big ask. Besides, him without sleep is the funniest part.
That's true.
And you have noticed that in my cockpit there is a pillow, which means I've probably been sleeping there.
Oh, I know. I don't care where you sleep, Finley. Just sleep. You're gonna sleep inside your mech like it's a little womb, like you're in your mecha, mommy. You're all good. This is Shia making a little bit of fun.
Hey,
Trust me, I've heard people sleeping in weirder places.
considering the armor on this thing, I feel safer in this than I would in yours.
That's just because you don't have my moves. One of these days I'm gonna level up Flash move to like 6. Just be like, 6 dice, you don't hit me, fuck you. No. Essentially, we're all kind of waiting around in the bay for the spirit of Carthage to show up in exfil and shooting the shit. You know, so we are going to find ways to fill the time, which for Finley isn't hard. He's just going to start tinkering more on the Ajax.
Yes, maybe one day I'll actually get this thing working. It'd be funny if we actually got it working right at the end of the campaign.
Oh, I think Monk has a plan for when it's going to start working, and then everybody's going to be in Ajaxes because they're a fucking hell on wheels type of mecha.
Well, they were the one that literally did turn the tide against the Masters.
I know. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me, Neff.
Oh, I know. They're great little machines, and I love the fact that they don't actually go into that silly half mode.
The half mode's cool. Fuck off.
It may look cool, but in terms of battle, it's worthless.
Yeah, not really. If you've ever watched the actual Macross, the fucking Gerwalk mode is great.
I think that the helicopter mode is a much better design overall.
But the helicopter mode isn't even from Macross.
Maybe not, but it's
I'm pretty sure that one's from Must Be Out.
still a great idea.
Oh no, it's a fantastic idea. I'm not saying it's not a fantastic idea. I'm just saying that the Gerwalk mode from Macross, which is what is called Guardian mode in Robotech, was intensely useful, especially for low surface combat. So
I always just found it a little silly looking.
Sorry about
is a
that,
little
folks.
silly looking. Welcome back, Monk. We filibustered as much as we could, both in and out of character.
I appreciate that.
I told Finley he needs to get more sleep.
Yeah.
I do not.
But in the aftermath, you guys exfiltrated proper. Though you did make a couple pit stops along the way to the bases that have been abandoned to basically get what salvage you could. So the vehicles that you found, those are being added to the cargo bay for the Spirit of Carthage.
Nice.
And well, since the and when it comes to the members of the TAF 27, um, they're getting added to the crew because Captain Prana's attitude is use every resource we can, because you never know when you're going to be able to resupply.
Hannibal team and the Spirit of Carthage are slowly becoming a battalion.
Yeah.
Like we've gone from team to squad at the very least, and then from with the new recruits we got back in Africa, and now we're going to go up from squad to company.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, platoon. It'll be platoon then company.
Yeah. Well, since Hannibal team has a good amount of leeway.
Yes.
When it comes to what they can do, because the attitude is they're there for special missions. Anything that lets them do the mission as ordered is fair game.
But we're an extrajudicial military force.
Mm-hmm. Which is the reason why nobody up the chain is going to be raising a stink.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, shortly afterwards, you all end up having to head to briefing thing.
Yep.
Because first off, Rona goes, well, we've got good news and we've got bad news. The good news is that the briefcase that Dr. Kirk had was a decoy. His assistant had the real data.
That's good to know. I had a feeling they'd pull that trick.
As much of a jackass as he was, at least he was as smart as he claimed and didn't keep it on himself.
But there's still the problem of him being captured. This does technically, since the data was recovered, technically speaking, the mission is a success. But we also have to deal with the fact that we still need to get Dr. Kirk, since the knowledge that he has is still considered a problem. But The data recovered indicated that he's been moved from Earth to a mothership currently in the midst of fleet operation in lower lunar orbit. The priority of this mission has not changed. Your job is still to track down and retrieve Dr. Kirk from the mothership immediately. Now, while it will be difficult to get aboard the mothership, we do have a plan. The Spirit of Carthage will disembark Hannibal team at Moonbase ALUCE, hereafter referred to as Alice, which is currently under siege from Master's forces. There, you'll use these subterranean facilities to reach Moonbase Luna on the far side of the moon, where you'll have the use of mothballed naval vessels to launch a surprise attack to board the enemy mothership, which is hovering in orbit of the moon directly above Moonbase Lunar, while the rest of the fleet stage a diversion during your boarding operation to find and retrieve Dr. Kirk. Any questions?
Sounds simple enough.
If we are unable to retrieve Dr. Kirk, do you want us to just instead destroy the ship?
Destroying a mothership is easier said than done, and requires a whole lot of ordnance. If you can at the very least slow it down or do enough damage to the point where they'd have to retreat, that is acceptable. But do not consider destroying the ship to be a priority in that situation.
Understood.
Now I looked over the reports that were given, and I would like you all to confirm something with me. According to Vici's, this is where Captain Prana steps in, saying, based on the logs that were submitted, you encountered and engaged someone who referred to themselves as an adjutant.
Affirmative.
Are you aware of the significance of that title?
Of an adjutant?
Yes.
Is there a higher significance than what is normally known?
An adjutant is one of three members of what's known as a triumvirate within the organizational structure of the Masters. They are usually the heads of a legion.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was also stated, according to the reports, that this one was associated with Legion Nihilus.
Correct.
But we did find. I can state that we did. I can confirm at the very least, based on the cleanup efforts, that there was one dead body found in that mech. If this means that we've taken out 1/3 of a triumvirate, that is going to make things interesting.
Interesting does not sound good.
If one of our generals or the head of a command structure is suddenly taken out of the picture, what does that do for the rest of that unit?
They're in disarray until chain of command is reestablished.
And forces in disarray can have rogue elements manifest.
Understood.
I'm not chastising you for taking out an enemy commander. I'm simply saying be wary of more desperate actions going forward.
Understood.
With that, if there's no further questions, then this briefing is adjourned.
I believe that's everything. Again, Shia looks around to the rest of the team, seeing if they have any questions, etc. But I assume that they do not.
Mhm. But in the aftermath, you do oversee the inclusion of the new. Well, I say new, but they're really just overhauling and trying to fix the old mechs that you and equipment you found.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and in addition, it is noted that while these things are old, they're certainly in decent enough condition to be in fighting shape by the time they get to orbit. But the shifting a bit to K here.
Yes.
I believe in the aftermath of this, you're gonna be looking over the data that you found.
Mm-hmm.
And
Kate here is gonna go to her quarters and lock the door. She is going to send the other main members of Hannibal team quick message not to bother her whatsoever. And with that, she's going to pull out a personalized tablet, laptop thing, whatever you want to call it. And she's going to plug her little drive into that. And she's going to start trying to decrypt all the info.
and what she is able to find is what was hinted at earlier, the construction of a protoculture generator, uh, which would be the first protoculture generator made since the first Robotech war.
Does she see the acronym again, the SSCG?
She does, and also sees key 2.
Her mouth's going to press into a thin line, seeing key 2. I thought there were 3. And she's what other information did she manage to grab off the system?
That was the bulk of it.
Damn.
It's mainly the fact that a generator was being developed.
All right. Kekir is gonna slip the tablet into her breast pocket. She's gonna exit her quarters, and she's gonna knock on Shia's door.
She opens up his door. Okay, here.
Lieutenant, may I step in for a minute?
Is there an urgent matter?
Not exactly, but it has to deal with what we found.
All right.
Before
Step in.
So Kehir steps inside and she pulls the tablet out and hands it to Shia, completely unredacted.
Okay. Before he grabs the tablet, Shia, of course, closes his door, engages the locks and a privacy screen, and takes the tablet. Other than seeing the acronym SSCG, Monk, is there anything Shia recognizes?
The big thing it is the mention of key 2.
Okay. Shia takes a look at the tablet. He's just kind of looking at it. Again, no real indication of anything on his face, he says, "There's clearly a lot of information here. Would you mind if I took a copy for my own perusal?"
Set it up
I-
to detonate at the or detonate as in destroy itself, not like actually cause a little blow up, but like the file to wipe.
Chia chuckles a second. There's a small grin on one side of his face. I'm like, right, blow up the file. All right. He goes over to one of his desk drawers, opens the drawer, pulls out a small storage drive, clicks it into the side of the tablet to make the copy. Once he has the copy, he pulls it out, uh, slips it into a pocket on his. This would be like a casual uniform, and hands Kahir back the tablet. I'm like, I'll be sure to study this on my own secure and disconnected tablet.
Should we talk to Dirge about this? He might be able to make a little bit better sense out of everything.
It may be best to engage him when we have more of the picture. There's a number here about a key, and much of this looks very fragmented. I don't know if we even have a big enough picture that anybody can make heads or tails of this.
Yeah.
Mm. Of Shia sees Kahir rub at her wrist.
Did you hurt yourself there?
No, it's nothing, Lieutenant. I just slight itch. That's all.
Okay. And even if it's a slight itch, you may still want to go to medical and get that checked out.
I'll be sure to do that, Lieutenant.
Do you have anything else for me?
That was it. I just, you put eyes on the same file that I did earlier. I wanted to bring it to your attention.
Understood. Thank you for the attention here for this particular set of data. As I said, I'll try and study it on my end as well. See if we can perhaps brainstorm anything.
But
One last thing before I go, Lieutenant.
All right.
Does, my apologies, Lieutenant. I lost my train of thought. I'll take my leave.
All right. Well, again, get yourself checked out at medical, just in case. We did have a pretty stressful day, and you did get dinged out there.
The mech took the brunt of it. I'm fine.
All right. You know yourself best.
Yep.
She undoes the privacy screen, unlocks his door, and lets her out.
All right. I'll see you later.
Next mission.
And with that, Kahir goes back to her room, takes off the outer coat to her uniform, and unbuckles a bracelet that was on the wrist that Shia saw her rubbing at. On that bracelet are two small beads. And she sets it down on her desk. Key 2, huh?
But in the aftermath of this, Sia's computer lights up with a mail notification.
The private one? The private computer or my public computer?
See, which one would be most likely to receive an email?
If it's an email connected to the service, it's going to be my service terminal, because my personal terminal is the one with the it's my black box, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So on the public terminal, Shia will open up the
email's sender. The address and the like seems to be encrypted. But the identification is a concerned citizen.
A concerned citizen. Okay.
And within the email, it simply says, I believe this will be valuable to you. And within it is an attachment of a document.
She opens the document attachment.
It seems to be a letter. That letter indicates that the material that they were sent seems fascinating, but it's not something that even he with his brilliant mind can ascertain. And saying wherever you got this, apparently you didn't fully realize what you had uncovered. And the letter is signed Dr. Kirk.
Shia reads between the lines. There is a sudden fervor in Shia. And he pulls out the private terminal and one of the data sticks to pull that attachment and email off his public terminal and put it on the private one. And sort it in the rest of his files concerning an event that took place during the Reign of Fire. It's like, really now? Dr. Kirk, what's it? Let's see what you have to do with the truth of the matter. At that point, Shia opens up the black box program again and connects both of the drives with the keys to see if there's any progress.
And it simply says, key 2 of 4 accepted. Please insert keys 3 and 4 for authorization.
There's a small, tight grin with a flash of teeth and fangs, almost. And he just says to himself, soon. Before removing the 2 keys and closing down the private terminal and locking them in his drawers.
Mm-hmm. And that's where we're going to leave it off for this week. So next week, because as I mentioned at the top of this broadcast, it will be the last week of the month. We will not be tackling the Hannibal War that week. Instead, we are going to be doing a one-shot of a game that I interviewed about some years back called Blood, Sweat, and Steel. So I know one might say, wait, didn't you say you're trying to get away from fantasy for a while? Yes, I did. And this isn't high fantasy or it's adjacent. This is going to be swords and sorcery.
Sword and sorcery.
And well, I know at least some of you watching this have seen at least some incarnation of Conan, so you'll know what you're dealing with to some extent.
Riddle of Steel.
For the rest of you, contemplate your sins on the Tree of Woe.
Crucify them!
But that is going to be a story for next time. So until then, on behalf of the good brothers present and not present, my name is Mildra, I am your gaming monk, and fuck Harmony Gold.
Fuck Harmony Gold!
Fuck Harmony Gold!
Fuck that.